Am I the butthole for uninviting my grandma to my wedding? So I'm getting married, and when I was on call with my grandmother, 75, she was super excited to come and I was excited to have her there. I'm her oldest grandchild, so we have a special relationship. But a few days ago she learned that my sister, my maid of honor, is gay and I invited her girlfriend. She was furious about the gay thing and told me that either I uninvite the girlfriend or she doesn't come, and I immediately said that if this is the way she thinks, I don't want her there. Now my whole family is telling me to just uninvite the girlfriend and reinvite my grandma. Sounds bad, but my fiancé, my sister and her girlfriend live in one apartment now. They lost an apartment for 2020 reasons, and the girlfriend has basically been my roommate for 6 months now. I'm very close to her, closer than my granny actually, and I really want her there. My family's opinion is that I am the butthole. Edit. I'm Eastern European and homophobia is still very present here. That's why the family is okay with granny's behavior even though they love my sister and tolerate her GF. It's all around them. Edit 2. I was never considering uninviting the girlfriend. The question is, am I the butthole for uninviting grandma rather than letting her make the decision? Update. As many of you suggested, I told my sister and her GF. My sister was mad that I didn't tell her sooner, but we ended up agreeing that grandma, and one more relative actually, are not invited and no way back. Turned out granny and especially the other relative were bullying them on Facebook and other social media, but mostly FB, and were outing them online. Apparently both have been messaging my sister to verbally abuse her since she came out, and she didn't want to tell me for the same reason I didn't tell her about the wedding stuff. So I'm no longer questioning who the butthole here is, so I asked mods to stop the comments, cause my dumb ass has no idea how to do that. Thank you to everyone who believes my granny can change, and I will keep trying with her after the wedding. NTA, doing the right thing isn't always popular. Even if you hadn't been living together, disinviting the girlfriend because of bigotry wouldn't be morally right. Have a wonderful wedding. Edit to say many thanks for the awards and upvotes. I had a similar situation when my brother came out, so this post struck a nerve. If you're gay, there's more of us who have your back than those who don't. Heart. Yes. I was going to say the same thing. It doesn't matter if the girlfriend is a total stranger to you. Stick with your principles. You will probably feel better deep down in your soul knowing you did what was right rather than feeling false on the day. P.S. Thank you for the awards, it's my first time ever. Seconding this one. It's not about the girlfriend, it's about standing up for your sister. If this is the way she treats her granddaughter, then her place is at home, when you're getting married. You can give in to the prejudice or stand up against it. If original poster gives in, then she can't consider herself an ally to queer people or her sister. I'm queer, and if my sister excluded my same-sex partner, I would feel betrayed in the most cruel and painful way. A sisterly bond is sacred and it trumps grandparents. Op might offend her family's feelings, but to exclude her sister's GF would be to reject who her sister is. It says you are not normal and you can't participate fully. Op knows what to do. It's just a question of dealing with the family fallout. I suggest a united front with all the housemates, with everyone reminding original poster to have fun and celebrate despite family prejudices making things difficult. I would never even consider not inviting the girlfriend. The question was never GF or grandma to me, it was always, do I try to convince granny or just let her stay home? There's still 4 months until the wedding, so maybe grandma will come to her senses. Interestingly, grandpa, her husband, is the only adult member of my father's side of the family who thinks grandma overreacted by giving me an ultimatum though. Just thought I'd mention how badass my grandfather is. Okay, well, that wasn't really made clear by your post. You framed this as a question of am I right by inviting the sister / but not the grandma? Not do I try to convince grandma or just let her stay home. I didn't see anything about that second idea of convincing mentioned in the post. Thus people's responses are going to be affirming that you did the right thing by uninviting her, and most likely won't be giving you advice on whether you should convince grandma, which, by the way, I think is an obvious no. Do not try to convince her, do not pander to homophobes, she's not going to change her mind about this, and if she was invited she would 100% be rude to your sister and her partner and ruin their time, and potentially even create a scene and ruin the entire wedding. Don't invite someone with such a gross and offensive personal problem that they're bound to take out on others to your wedding. Yeah, I'm going to put another edit there. I should have formulated it better. TBF, I wrote the post right after a phone call with my father about the topic, and I was still kind of influenced by his opinion. Uninvite sister's girlfriend, reinvite grandma. No worries, I wasn't criticizing, just wanted to point out in case you wanted to edit. You're doing the right thing. Please don't listen to your dad. It's so gross how your entire family is willing to crap on your sister like this. This isn't just them rejecting her partner, it's your entire family rejecting who your sister is. As someone else said, the bond of sisters is sacred and so much more important than pleasing your pathetic homophobic family members. Stick with your sister and her partner, don't even bother trying to convince anyone of anything, and refuse to even hear a word about this from anyone, or else they'll be disinvited too. That's what I'd do. I would not accept all this bullcrap being said to me about my wedding day. Hard agree that at this point it seems like if grandma does show up, she's just likely to ruin at the very least the enjoyment of your sister and her girlfriend, and at most the whole wedding. The fact that she feels so entitled to have this strong of feelings about your sister and her girlfriend at all is a major warning sign. Just on top of all the ethical stuff you already covered. I'd let grandpa know he is still welcome, but that if grandma wants to have a hissy fit at home, that is fine, and now that she created this issue, we also need assurance that she isn't going to have a dramatic meltdown and ruin my wedding, because nobody has time for that. Grandpa actually can't come, it's complicated medical stuff, but he's practically the only person on that side of the family who supports me in my decision. But grandma runs the family. 4 generations live on her property and it's a whole deal, so what she said usually goes. I think that's why this whole invitation thing is a big deal. I still so didn't expect it though. In that case, I think it's simple. Invite your grandma, but don't put energy into convincing her as suggested by another commenter. If she stays home, it's her decision. You might find her attitude changes if your grandpa is like, screw that, I'm going. I don't know that she would 100% be rude to your sis, her girlfriend, only you know whether she is the confrontational type. Homophobia is often much easier in theory than in practice. But if she does decide to come, maybe have a chat with her beforehand to make sure she understands that inclusion is the theme of the day and you will brook no discrimination. She deserves a chance to be better. I would just say to Gran that you have no intention of not having your sister's partner there, and you would also hope that she comes, too, and leave it at that. Let Granny make up her own mind. I realize there are cultural differences at play here, but even so, she needs to realize that the world doesn't revolve around her and her bigoted views. This is the correct answer and should be at the top. The only way we can teach people is by showing them. Granny needs to see the love. She may not come to the wedding, but tell her she is welcome. So is Granddad coming? He still gets invited. This, up pointing finger. Yup. I love my family, but if they wanted me to exclude my sister's girlfriend from my wedding, I would uninvite them all. I love what you meant. I just balked at Sister Trump's grandparent. My grandma is disgusted that my father sexually abused me and my sister. My sister chose to continue to live with and defend that father and the mother who allowed the abuse. Sisters can totally suck at loyalty as well. I and Grandma actually got closer, and she told me my dad took right after his own father, who knocked up Grandma when she was 14 and he was 24. Doing the right thing isn't always popular. Or easy. I believe this is a direct quote. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our family. I therefore award 10 points to user unstable_potato123/ Dumbledore, Reddit link. It is not a direct quote. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. There are all kinds of courage, said Dumbledore, smiling. Thank you, that was the joke. I don't think Dumbledore references a Reddit user in the quote. Forgive me, I just finished an 8 a.m. hungover. Humor is not currently in my vocabulary. Exactly. Weddings celebrate love and a new family unit. This could have been a teaching moment for Grandma instead of a line in the sand for the entire family. Maybe Grandma assumes original poster will back down in time? The quote you're actually thinking of is a different Dumbledore one, where he says the time will come when we all have to make a choice between what is right and what is easy. That's from the 4th book. The one you put up is from the 1st. Yep, the people who have problem with the situation should step aside and not expect entire world to cater to their homophobia. Hijacking the top comment to say that you are not disinviting Granny. She is disinviting herself. She is welcome to come, she just has to be willing to accept the presence of a gay girlfriend. This is not on you. This is on Granny. Your sister will be there. There will already be a lesbian there. Granny can just as easily not think about two gay folks as one. NTA, and please don't give in. I love how right this is. It's so true that doing the right thing isn't always what everyone wants. But it's the right thing, and that's what matters. Haha, preach. In fact, the right thing is rarely popular, because it's inconvenient to others like Op's family, and getting a thank you's a recognition for sticking your head above the parapet is pretty uncommon too. The movies lie, people, but it doesn't mean you have to stop having your own integrity. I know I'll die a content soul knowing I tried to do right where I could. And if I raise my kids right, hopefully they will too. 2 hearts. Absolutely this and, Op, you must stand your ground. The elderly ignorance excuse is bullcrap. NTA, your wedding. Invite whoever you want, they are all the butthole for dictating who you should invite. That being said, I just invite both, then if the grandma doesn't come then it's on her and not you. Yeah, that's the butthole part for me. I just really don't want my granny there now. I love her but I don't want the drama she would cause even if she came. Just say if your hate for a stranger overrides your love for me then it's better that you not come. Whoa. Thank you guys so much, this the first time I've gotten awards. You guys made my day. Very well put. I love this cause it really puts the onus on her, which frankly it is on her. Perfect. I was going to type exactly this, so I'm glad I looked at other responses first. My gosh, I don't think that could be written better. So eloquently stated, yet such a powerfully burning statement. I save comments like that one for when I need words. This would be a sick burn, nice. I don't think it's supposed to be a burn, just an ultimatum. Phew. That's such a good thing to say. Yes. Original poster say this. As a child of overly religious immigrants, don't be surprised if this is too much for Grandma's narrow mind to comprehend. I've seen many formerly homophobic parents and grandparents change because the love they have for their children/grandkids outweighs their opinions. Love is a powerful thing. Fair enough, I thought I read it as if you still wanted both people there. Either way I'd still say NTA, it's still your wedding to invite whoever you want. You could save a bit of face possibly by turning it on your granny. Tell her she's invited but if she makes any comments or disrupts she's going to be kicked out. Force it on her to choose not to attend instead so people can't say you didn't let your granny come, she chose not to or chose to be a bigot about it. Edit, if you even want her there at all at this point. And you are a good person for that. Then don't invite her, it's your wedding, not your grandma's nor your family's. I know it sounds harsh but it's as simple as that. You are a good sister and she is being a bad grandmother. What you're doing is the only way that attitudes are going to change where you live. Making unpopular decisions that are the right thing to do. You're a great sister and a great person. Piggybacking off of this, and you should probably also uninvite the family members talking against it too. There'd be like 4 people at the wedding, sister and girlfriend included. But the rest of my family will be okay, I think. They might think stuff but they would never say anything. She's the diva, I still love her though. Great solution. Probably better to just uninvite the grandmother completely, or else you know that she'll come along specifically to harass people. NTA. Your grandma said her or sister's girlfriend and you chose, she shouldn't have given you an ultimatum for your own wedding. It is your wedding and it's up to you to decide who is there. Grandma is TA not only for being homophobic but for trying to back you in a corner and use you loving her against you to push her beliefs onto you and your wedding. Sucks to suck, Grandma. Yeah, she thought the ultimatum was going to do something and it backfired on her. Indeed. Really, Granny uninvited herself. If she wants to re-invite herself she knows what she needs to do. Yep. You asked me to choose love or hate, and I chose love. Grandma, make your choice. Also Grandma, when the choice isn't her, Surprised Pikachu. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.